Most people define wealth by what they can see: income, assets, lifestyle. But there's another kind of wealth that rarely gets discussed, and it often matters more in the long run: psychological wealth. What psychological wealth really is? Psychological wealth is the ability to live without constantly feeling behind. It's the feeling that your choices are aligned, your pace is sustainable, and your life doesn't require constant urgency to function. You can have money and still be psychologically poor. You can also have less and feel internally stable. Psychological wealth isn't about how much you have. It's about how much pressure your life puts on your mind. Why many people feel poor even when they're doing fine. From the outside, many lives look successful, but internally, they feel fragile. Too many decisions, too much comparison, too much pressure to keep up. Psychological poverty doesn't come from lack, it comes from overload. When every day feels like maintenance, when rest feels guilty, when slowing down feels risky. That's not ambition, that's mental debt, the hidden cost of constant comparison. Comparison quietly erodes psychological wealth, not because you want more, but because it trains your mind to never settle. There's always someone ahead, someone moving faster, someone doing better, at least on the surface. When your sense of progress depends on comparison, peace becomes impossible. Psychological wealth grows when progress is internal, not performative. Why freedom without stability feels empty. Many people chase freedom, more options, more flexibility, more possibilities, but freedom without stability creates anxiety. If everything is possible, nothing feels grounded. Psychological wealth comes from having enough structure to feel safe, and enough flexibility to feel human. Too much freedom creates pressure, too much structure creates suffocation. The balance matters. Psychological wealth is built by reducing mental noise. Most stress doesn't come from big problems, it comes from constant small ones. Unfinished decisions, open loops, low-level worry that never fully turns off. Psychological wealth grows when your life has fewer loose ends, when you don't have to constantly ask, what should I do next? Am I doing enough? Am I falling behind? Clarity is wealth, simplicity is wealth, mental quiet is wealth. Why more options can make you poorer? More options feel empowering at first, but over time, they demand attention, they require evaluation, they increase second-guessing. A life with too many options often creates less peace, not more. Psychological wealth favors constraints, not because you lack ambition, but because limits reduce cognitive load. Fewer choices, fewer paths, less noise. The difference between comfort and security. Comfort is temporary, security is structural. Comfort feels good in the moment, security holds when things go wrong. Psychological wealth is built on security, routines that don't collapse, choices that don't require constant effort, systems that don't punish you for being tired. It's knowing that a bad day won't destroy everything. Psychological wealth and time. People often underestimate how expensive urgency is. Living in constant urgency drains attention, reduces patience, and shortens perspective. Psychological wealth changes how time feels. You are not rushing to catch up. You are not afraid to pause. You are not constantly negotiating with the future. Time stops feeling like an enemy. A simple check for psychological wealth. Ask yourself this: if nothing changed for the next 6 months, would my life feel stable or stressful? If stability depends on constant effort, constant vigilance, or constant motivation, your psychological wealth is fragile. A rich inner life can survive slow periods. A poor one panics when momentum stops. Final perspective. Psychological wealth isn't visible. It doesn't impress strangers. It doesn't create dramatic stories. But it determines how your life feels every day. It's the difference between moving forward calmly and constantly bracing for impact. Long-term thinking isn't about waiting. It's about choosing a position you don't need to escape from. Before your next decision, ask yourself what kind of future it quietly creates. This channel is about thinking clearly in a world that constantly pulls you to react.